Welcome. On behalf of Ryan, Sandy, Samantha, and the rest of the Zane family, I would like to thank you all for being here this afternoon to honor and celebrate the life of Adam, Ryan, Hink's son, Zane. We have friends and family here today who have come from literally all across this nation to be with us today. Aunts and uncles, great aunts and uncles from Hawaii, Washington, Missouri, New York. Friends of Adam, Ryan, Sandy, from Tennessee, Arkansas, Michigan, and all parts of California. We are here today because of the impact that Adam had on our lives. Adam was kind, loving, fiercely loyal, and at times very opinionated. He could be quirky, he had determination, loved to laugh, loved adventure, was generous, and chill. Ryan, I remember when you asked me if Dory and I would be willing to be Adam's guardians should anything happen to you and Sandy. We were privileged and honored that you and Sandy would consider us. As his uncle, I can think of many things about Adam that warms my heart and brings a smile to my face. His warm greetings with a hug, his appreciation of a gift, his conviction to his beliefs, his willingness to listen to an uncle's advice or counsel. But there's one quality that he had that was really special and unique to Adam. That was his relationship with food. It wasn't just that he enjoyed being adventurous with trying new foods, and it wasn't that I loved seeing him enjoy good food, especially if I happened to make it and he would say, "This is fire." It was his ability to wear his food after he was done eating. My nephew was challenged when it came to putting food into his mouth. I blame his father. If any of you have seen the difficulty that Ryan can have putting a golf ball into a cup, it's obvious what parent that attribute came from. But Adam, being who he was, took it in stride and didn't let it bother him. In fact, often after he was done eating and covered in bits and pieces of food, he would just stand up and proudly display his artistry. And in true Adam fashion, he would give you a smile and a look that said, "Deal with it." Your presence here today and every day for the past 5 months, sending unending love and support for Ryan and Sandy and Samantha, has been heaven sent. Again, you honor us by being here today, and from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you.
Hello, thank you everyone again for coming to mourn the loss, to celebrate the life of Adam Zane. I'm Jonathan Young, and I'm told our families go back 4 generations. When our great-grandparents, they did ministry together, both of our grandparents and our parents were schoolmates together. And then Adam and I, we went to Chinese school and we attended junior choir here at this church when we were young. And as we grew up, we kind of didn't keep in touch. But one thing there's a couple things I always remember about Adam. Is number one is that he was very, very kind. Even as a kid, I could see that. And then the other thing, he was calm. He was, like his uncle said, he was chill. Nothing seemed to faze him. And even there's only so many words that I can say to comfort the family and friends, but there was a verse that he included in a letter he wrote to his grandma a few years ago, and I want to read that to you today. It's Psalm 121, verses 7, and then I'm including 8. It says, "The Lord shall preserve you from all evil, He shall preserve your soul. The Lord shall preserve you going out and your coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Let's pray. Dear Lord in heaven, we come to you because you are our comforter. You are the one who knows all of our pain, all of our sorrow. And we come today to cry, to laugh, to remember, to hope and to pray for each other, for one another. And it is my prayer that in faith that Adam's soul is preserved in you, that when you come again, that we might be able to hear, when we hear that, the voice of God, the trumpet of the Lord, the voice of the archangel, that it will come and we will see Adam raise, and we will be able to meet together with him in the clouds in glory. We thank you. We ask that you join us today. Pray all this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
We are here today to celebrate our dear and bright light, Adam. Ryan, Hing's son, Zane, son of Ryan and Sandy, and my brother, beloved cousins, and loyal friends and colleagues, to so many.
Adam was born 2 weeks late at Redlands Community Hospital on May 12, 1999. He only agreed to enter this world after plenty of reassurances and coaxing by Uncle Ryan and Auntie Sandy. This was his first lesson in living life on his own terms. Adam's regurgitation of all things solid, all things liquid, but sometimes solid, at the most inopportune times, quickly earned him the title of the Vomit King. On his way to his first angel baby photo shoot in Grandpa and Popo's car, Adam's gag reflex was active. Despite being the Vomit King, his sweet nature always shined through. I have vivid memories of watching Scooby-Doo and eating various shapes of mac and cheese with Adam throughout our childhood. One of my favorite memories is when he showed me Samantha's bedroom for the first time and proudly said, "This will be my sister's room." I especially enjoyed sharing my birthday with Adam. On the day of my birth, Adam, who was only 2 years old, was convinced by Auntie Sandy to give up his always present chapon, or pacifier, as a gift to me. Not that I would remember because I was only a few years old, but I don't think I ever got that pacifier, but at least Adam didn't take it to college like Auntie Sandy feared. Adam and Ian met at Loma Linda Children's Center in 2003 at the age of 4. Within the first week, they deemed it necessary to introduce their moms. This was the start of their lifelong friendship. At 4.5, he accompanied his mom, dad, and Popo to Guangzhou, China, to pick up his baby sister, Samantha. Adam was the only other big brother on that trip. Together, Samantha and Adam returned home with an immediate sibling bond. They both attended Loma Linda University Church, sang in the children's choir, attended Loma Linda Elementary and Academy, and discovered their passions in the hometown of their dad. They carried the Zane legacy throughout their Loma Linda academic careers. Together, they made lasting memories and beautiful family photos on family trips to Mammoth, Cayman, China, Japan, and many other places with the Corleys, Riveras, and Umedas. A favorite getaway was to Solana Beach, where Adam and his friends, Jeffrey and Etienne, would make Samantha play bodyguard to the presidents and assassins. The weekend wouldn't be complete without Adam's favorite dinner at Sushi Station. At Loma Linda Academy, along with Ian and Duncan, he met Matai and Coda, where they made up a game called Mummy Tag. Endless Nerf wars, video games in the upstairs game room, and boxing in the driveway, Adam's home was their base. Often packing up to 18 kids in the game room, literally the hottest room in the house, they hung out nonstop. Ryan and Sandy would fortify them with Friday night pizzas, and always stocked snack cabinets. Even when they all started driving and found other places to hang out or went away to different schools, they always came back together at Adams. As a young child, Adam's expanding intellect quickly became apparent when he could name every scientific name in the dinosaur universe and demonstrated his expertise in all things Legos and Star Wars. When the time came, he donated carloads of Thomas Trains, Legos, and Nerf guns to Cousin Wyatt. His love for his family was open and proud. He always brightened the room he walked into with open arms, a warm hug, and a cheerful greeting.
Around the age of 11, Adam started his foodie journey. It all began after an introduction to Nobu's miso black cod. After that, he never looked back. He appreciated Chinese classics like roast duck, chicken feet, and dim sum. Thanks to Uncle Charlie Umeda, he even tracked down horse sashimi in Tokyo. He often enthusiastically entered a family gathering asking, "What are we eating tonight?" We knew Adam approved when he said, "Oh, that's fire." In high school, Adam joined Loma Linda Academy's inaugural swim team with breaststroke his best and favorite stroke. When he left to Southern Adventist University in Tennessee, he was disappointed in the quality of food outside of California. But he endured it with his friend Ethan Goyne and his roommates Ian and Coda. Adam lived life fully and was fortunate enough to travel the world with the company of his family and friends. He got to explore and experience the culture of China with our family, and he saw the Great Wall, the night markets of Beijing, and learned the history of our great-grandfather, the original Hing Sung Leung, in Hong Kong. A few years later, he traveled to Korea with his 4 friends, Sunny, Ian, Ethan, and Coda. Lastly, one of his favorite trips was traveling with the Umedas to Japan for his high school graduation. His passion for music and his passion for politics, which was unmatched by anyone else I've ever met, was something that I always admired and makes me feel so proud to be his cousin. Whenever he talked about politics to me, it would fill me with a sense of hope that there are people out there like Adam who are literally on the forefront, fighting for what was right. His fierce support for his friends continued throughout his adult life. Adam was given the opportunity to explore music management through recording studio sessions with his friends Matai and Ian. When he finished his BA degree at Cal Poly Pomona, it was a tumultuous era for American politics. This ignited Adam's desire and unabashed belief in social justice for his generation's future. After graduation, while living in his apartment with his beloved roommates Cameron and Jackson, Adam enjoyed skiing and being outdoors. He was excited for his first job with AmeriCorps and the Red Cross station. He was given the opportunity to assist those recovering from the Altadena fires. After the federal defunding shutdown of AmeriCorps, Adam had time to be at Ryan's side in Loma Linda Hospital during most of June and July. Here he developed a new personal fascination for understanding medicine. He decided to find a new job with Unitech College as an academic advisor for their healthcare programs. Within these short 2 weeks, Adam immediately made a warm impression on his small team of supervisors and colleagues. Adam's big heart, his grounded presence, and his ideological passions will always be treasured as a shining example of living your best life.
Adam wasn't just a friend. He was our buddy, a teammate, and a fighter who stood beside us through so many battles in life. Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew, and I've known Adam for more than 10 years through the Zane family. For more than 10 years through the Zane family. But it was until my time at Loma Linda that we really bonded. Alongside with Buddy Alec, and Christian through our intense weekly Scrabble tournament at his grandparents' house. Every Wednesday, we'll gather after dinner and go to wall with 7 little letter tiles, with at least one heated debate that ended up with a Google search to see if the word was actually real. Win or lose, Adam always left with the biggest smile on his face, a face of enjoyment from the delicious curry chicken and peanut butter smoothie we all shared and loved. Outside of Scrabble, we also fought in much tougher battles, like surviving the mosh pit at Rolling Loud, a very intense music festival where we pick each other up every time we got knocked down. And that was Adam. No matter what life threw at him, he always got back up. Adam faced every challenge, his health, his career, his future, with that same fearless attitude. Good day or bad day, he's always calm and helpful, known as a chill guy. He was the kind of friend who'd always listen and never stop trying to help you out, even if it means that teaching me, a terrible dancer, to master dance moves before Buddy Christian's wedding. Adam was the kind of friend who listened, supported, and made you laugh even in the toughest moments. No matter what it was, losing a Scrabble match, wiping out on a snowboard during our winter trip, or lasting only 10 seconds on the mechanical bull at the Cowboys Club. Adam always got back up every single time, with that same goofy, confident grin that said, "Heck yeah." That's the Adam that we all knew, caring, charming, and never want to give up. So as we remember Adam today, let's carry the same smile forward. Let's face life the way he did, with humor, kindness, and hope. Because every time we choose to smile, to care, to lift someone up, a piece of Adam lives on through us. Thank you.
I didn't prepare anything. I just wanted to speak from my mind and heart. As long as I've known Adam, as long as I can remember, I've always been in some way compared to him, and I've always felt very proud to hear that every time I was told that. From a young age, I was always told, "You're such a picky eater like Adam was. You look just like Adam did at this time of your life." I was like, always made me very happy to hear that. Even though I never told him to his face, I've always credited him as being one of my biggest inspirations, whether it was him donating all his Legos to me, which has become a lifelong obsession of mine now. You should see my living room. Or just him, me and him having extensively long conversations about music. He introduced me to people like Kendrick Lamar, Baby Keem, even in some ways, even though not good now, Kanye West. I think some of my fondest memories with Adam is always going to be those talks. Always just him trying to introduce me to new music, or constantly telling me, or asking me, "Did you listen to this yet? Did you just listen to this yet?" I'd sometimes tell him yes, but I hadn't. Other fond memories I have of Adam were playing Super Smash Bros. Or other video games I was too young to play in that game room. He let me play Halo when I was probably 8. And yeah, I remember him letting me join him and his friends on occasions, playing Super Smash Bros. In that room, that very crowded, hot, dark room. And I'm fairly certain this story is correct, but I remember a time where I heard, not directly, but I heard him, apparently he asked our Popo once, "Popo, do you believe in Harry Potter?" And I was told by my Auntie Dory that obviously our Popo didn't read Harry Potter or watch any of the movies, but there was a document written by a pastor berating Harry Potter for being evil and fake. And I heard next part of the story was that she screamed at Adam, "No, I don't watch that. I haven't read that. I don't believe in that. That's all fake and evil and not true." And that's probably one of my favorite Adam stories I've heard. Or, yeah, probably the favorite. That, or I don't know if the video will be shown at any point during this or just later today, but there's a video recorded by Alec here of Adam 13 years ago riding. He's probably much too big for it, but he was riding this. We had this small fire truck toy, and there's a video of him riding down the hill to our grandparents' house. He's probably age 13. He's much too old for that, but screaming, rolling down the hill, and my favorite part of it is he picks up the toy and throws it down the hill. And yeah. All right. But anyways, yes. Miss you, buddy.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today to celebrate the life of my cousin. Adam was known by us by many nicknames, but one that I will share with you, my personal favorite for him, was the King of the Dino. Dino, short for San Bernardino. Adam loved the Inland Empire, and the Inland Empire loved him. SB County was his stomping ground. In fact, my most meaningful memories with him occurred here in Loma Linda in our childhood. Crazy to say this, but about 2 decades ago, my brother Adam and I were young kids, next up in line to continue the legacy of the infamous Zanes of Loma Linda. Numerous summers and weekends were spent together in Loma Linda at our beloved grandparents' home. Most days we would be chilling, glued to the TV and our Game Boys. When Saturdays came around, we had to get creative, as most Adventists do, and this is when we would really connect. We would spend time debating curious questions such as, do aliens exist? Can Jedis fly just by using the Force? I remember in particular we spent an hour debating, what if everything in the world was free? Once our grandpa heard us talking, he responded, "Boys, that'd be communism." And, that conversation ended quickly. We'd also play games of hide and seek in the house, have invisible lightsaber fights while jumping on Popo and Grandpa's bed, and chop cactuses in the backyard with our grandparents' axe, and slice them with their antique samurai sword. We were at times destructive little guys. Sorry, Grandpa and Popo. We were a handful, but we were having fun. We would become adventurers in the large valley behind the house, despite being scratched by bushes, dodging rattlesnakes, and getting eaten by mosquitoes, and being poked with cactus spikes. We would work as a unit and persevere and climb to the top of the under end of the valley and back before the sun went down. and when it was just too hot, as Loma Linda tends to be, we would cool off with a dip in the pool. I'll never forget the 1-hour walks we would take from our grandparents' house to Adam's house. Those were special. It was time for us to learn from our grandparents as they gave us life advice and mentorship. But admittedly, 3 of us would use this opportunity to take a break from our stay at our grandparents' house and their cooking. Sorry, but their food was hit or miss. Menu ranged from vegetable smoothies to chicken curry to spaghetti with beans to mystery meat. But we knew Uncle Ryan and Auntie Sandy had us covered. They would treat us with pizza, McDonald's, and ice cream when we came over. And then Adam had the best toys and games. Playing with toys that our parents used a century ago was just not it. He had a plethora of Legos, action figures, including Ninja Turtles, Star Wars, superheroes, and his Nerf guns. Adam was always so kind and generous. I can recall numerous times when he would offer to give them away to make us happy. It was a glimpse of the kind heart that he would take with him into adulthood. That's who Adam was and what he grew to be: selfless, thoughtful, and always had his loved ones' backs. Our childhood adventures shaped all of us. As we got older, that bond didn't fade, it just changed. As we became young adults, we would meet up weekly for Scrabble night with our grandparents. We celebrated milestones together, like our co-graduation party that he shared with me. I was also honored to have him this year besides me as a groomsman at my wedding. There was still so much ahead of us, things that we dreamed of and look forward to. These memories will stay with us forever. Love you forever, buddy.
Hello there. My name is Alec, and I am Adam's oldest cousin. Growing up, the 3 oldest Zane cousins were inseparable, and Adam in many ways was like a second younger brother to Christian and I. From hiking beneath Yosemite's waterfalls and sailing across the Pacific on an Alaskan cruise to scaling the Great Wall of China, life with Adam was always an adventure. Of course, growing up also came with its challenges. And for Adam, as many of you know, one of those challenges was his picky eating. I remember it as clearly as it was yesterday. It was one of those long, warm summer evenings at Grandpa and Papa's house. Papa had just made her famous fried rice with eggs, but this time it looked a little different. Instead of its usual soy sauce brown, it was speckled with bits of green. To Adam's horror, Papa had dared to include, of all things, green peas. 5-year-old Adam absolutely refused to eat it. After much Papa persuasion, however, he finally decided to agree to try a single pea. Time seemed to slow to a halt as the tiny green sphere made its way to the tip of his tongue. After a long, dramatic pause and a single tear rolling down his cheek, he solemnly declared it was terrible. Thankfully, as the years went on, Adam's courage outgrew his childhood pickiness. He became fearless, not only in food, but in life. I'll never forget watching him, years later, confidently chowing down on a roasted scorpion on a stick in a Beijing night market, without even a second thought. That was Adam, bold, curious, and unafraid to embrace the world around him. That same courage extended far beyond his adventures. Adam became a passionate advocate for others, a fiery voice for justice, a champion for the marginalized, and a man whose compassion burned brightly in everything he did. It was an honor to witness him grow into such a spirited, kind-hearted, and selfless soul. Adam's zest for life, his boundless heart, and his unwavering sense of purpose will stay with me always. We'll miss you deeply, Adam, our cousin and our buddy for life.
Neoliberal corporatism is the same, is like just one step to the left of neoconservatism. That's where you and Dad are. I'm over here, where people should be.
Close your eyes, have no fear. The monster's gone, he's on the run, and your daddy's here. Beautiful, 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 beautiful boy. Beautiful, 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 beautiful boy. Before you go to sleep, say a little prayer. Every day, in every way, it's getting better and better. Beautiful, 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 beautiful boy. Beautiful, 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 beautiful
Well, I don't need to lie no more. Nowadays, all I do is shine, take a breath and ease my mind. And she don't cry no more. She tell me that I get her high, cause an angel's supposed to fly. I ain't asking why no more. Oh no, I take it if it's mine. I don't stay inside the lines. It ain't 2009 no more. Yeah, I know what's behind that door. Yeah, okay, you gotta jump in to swim. Well, the light was dim and this light was sin. Now every day I wake up and breathe. I don't have it all, but that's alright with me. Take it nice and easy, took a flight to see me. Send you back home with a light that's beaming. The whole team about to figure it out. We ice cold, that's what winter about. And sometimes, I wish I took a simpler route. Instead of having demons that's as big as my house. Have a ball with it, dribble and bounce. Cause the party ain't over till they kicking me out. Yeah, isn't it funny? We can make a lot of money, buy a lot of things just to feel a lot of ugly. I was yay high and muddy, looking for what was looking for me. But I don't need to lie no more. Nowadays all I do is shine, take a breath and ease my mind.
Where woke up this morning and figured I'd call you in case I'm not here tomorrow. I'm hoping that I can borrow a peace of mind. I'm behind on what's really important. My mind is really distorted. I find nothing but trouble in my life. Unfortunate you believe in a dream. This orphanage we call a ghetto is quite a routine. And last night was just another distraction or a reaction of what we consider madness. I know exactly what happened. You ran outside when you heard my brother cry for help. Held him like a newborn baby and made him feel like everything was alright in a fight he tried to put up, but the type of bullet that stuck.
Hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Cameron, and I have been Adam's roommate for the last 3 years. Adam was so much more than a roommate. He was the first friend I had moving down here for school, and as we spent more time together, I quickly learned he was not only a best friend, but a brother. I never knew what having a brother was like growing up, but with Adam, I got to experience it all. coming home to the kitchen being a disaster, arguing with him on why it's important to close our front door all the way, or being kept up until 2 a.m. discussing how bad the current political issues are. But with all of that grew a bond that was so special. Having someone who's always there to talk to when either of us were stressed about school or life. Having a friend at all hours of the day to play Xbox or go get food with. Or learning how much love there is for someone that you can call your brother. So I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you, Sandy and Ryan, for raising such a beautiful, kind-hearted son. Thank you, Samantha, for sharing your brother. And thank you, Adam, for giving me a glimpse of how special that bond can be. I love you, and I will always remember you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matai Main. Adam was a close friend of mine. We were friends since 5th grade when he invited me over to his grandparents' house where we swam, and that started a lifelong friendship. And what I want to say today is that I am truly grateful to have experienced Adam because there was something about him, something very magnetic, and he was able to draw a lot of people to him. People just wanted to hang around and just be near Adam. And I think there are two main reasons for that. One, if you knew Adam, he was very genuine. He did not lie to himself. He did not lie to you. It was almost like he didn't know how. He was just going to tell you exactly what he felt like, exactly what he thought. And he was also a listener and very kind. I think that's the second reason why people were drawn to him, because he would open up a space that felt comfortable, a space where you felt like you could speak about whatever and that he would listen and give you good feedback. And that's something that I definitely always admired about Adam. I admired his passion. You know, he was very bold, and he was always down for whatever you wanted to do. If we were going to have some type of event or some type of a protest, he was going to be there. If he could be there, he was definitely going to be there, you know. And he was, I mean, you guys heard he got arrested at a protest too, you know. He was really about it. And that passion was not something that I take for granted, and I don't think any of us do. And he was always, as you saw the video, you know, he would push for things, and he was very opinionated, but he would also take accountability. If he felt like he was wrong, he would do his research, he would think about it, and he would come with a more refined response, and he learned. And that's something that I always appreciated about him. And the last thing I want to talk about in my relation to Adam was music. You know, music is a very big passion of mine, and I think it's easy for me to stand up here today and say that I wouldn't be the same person had Adam not been in my life. But I mean that to a whole nother extent, where he put me on, you know, to some of my favorite artists. He was at concerts with me, and he was my biggest supporter. Anytime I would make something, I would always shoot it to Adam, and he would give me wonderful feedback, and that's something that I will dearly miss. So I just want to conclude by saying I am so very grateful to have experienced Adam. I'm privileged to know him, and thank you.
My favorite thing about Adam was his honesty and how willing he was to talk about anything. Every time I spoke to Adam, I knew I was getting his most authentic self. Adam never played a character. He was just himself, and so many loved him for that. And if someone didn't like Adam, they were usually pretty whack anyways. I often wish that I could be myself the way Adam was so unapologetically himself. I loved watching his confidence grow as he discovered his interests. I'll never forget the days at Southern we shared together, where he'd barge into our room and demand that we talk about whatever he learned that day in his political science class. And no matter how much I told him, I did not care. We talk about it for hours anyways. and now I would give anything just to have one more conversation with him. It's hard to think about my life without Adam. He was supposed to be a part of my family, and I was supposed to be a part of his, but just because he's no longer here doesn't mean they can't know him. I plan to remember Adam by embodying my favorite characteristics about him, and if Adam is here today, I hope he knows how truly special he is and how fortunate I am to have called him a dear friend. Thank you.
What's up, guys? My name is Ian. I got some things to say about my guy. Adam and I would argue constantly and consistently. Those arguments never seemed like they ended with a clear victor. For 22 years, Adam and I had beef for real. And for 22 years, we were inseparable. The past several weeks have felt weird, man. I'm just not used to life without my guy. Adam and I had a very unique relationship, and due to the fact that I didn't take, advantage of the ample opportunities I had to tell him how great he was and how much I loved him, I'm going to share with you guys how much he meant to me. Adam and I met in preschool when we were 4. Soon after that, my mom started taking me over to the Zane residence, where I started my tenure of loitering around with Adam. For those of you who know me pretty well, whenever I get extremely excited or nervous, I start to gag. And since I'm gagging, my eyes start to water. So for the first couple of years of me going over to the Zanes, my routine was having my little gagging fit and then wiping my eyes before I stepped out of my mom's car, all because I was so excited to hang out with my buddy. Back before I had a cell phone, the only numbers I had memorized were my mom's, her work, my grandparents' home, and the Zane home phone. 909-796-6393. That way I could call Adam and let him know I had just finished my chores that I hadn't actually finished. And then I was about to start walking over to his house. I spent all my summers and any free time I had during the rest of the year, which was a lot, just loitering with your son, Auntie Sandy, and Uncle Ryan. Not like I didn't also spend all day with him at school, but, in true sitcom fashion, I would start my day by taking a shower, crossing off chores I didn't do on my mom's homemade chore list, and then heading right over to your house to begin a busy day of getting nothing done with your Adam. Even though that free time led to a bunch of lightly put shenanigans, it would also foster countless hours of conversation and contemplation about anything, from the nature of the universe and our place in it, to whatever questions the adolescent mind could conjure up about the opposite sex. No topic was off limits. Even though most observers of our periods of delinquency might have suggested better use of our youth, which wasn't unfair advice, I wouldn't have traded that time nor those experiences for anything else in the world. What's so awesome about Adam is it wasn't just me or his family that loved him. Everyone loved Adam. Aside from the random Instagram accounts that he would intentionally pick fights with, he had no enemies, not even someone who just didn't like his energy. What a rare quality and feat. Adam had this intangible quality about him that drew people towards him. People just wanted to be around that man. And for years, I couldn't figure out what that quality was. But as I grew up, I realized it's the fact that he treated everyone he interacted with the decency and respect of a close friend. He was so genuine. There were no fake, dude, I'm so happy for you, or disingenuous, I'm so glad to see you, with that guy. What made it even crazier is that he never lied to himself or put up a front. He didn't want to be anyone else but himself. So when he was happy to see you, you know he really was. I've met and had the privilege to build relationships with so many incredible people throughout the course of my life, just because I've met them through Adam. He was such an admirable, brilliant man. Every young person has insecurities. However, he was so unapologetically himself. And as we grew up, it was so dope to see him blossom into a version of himself, not that society or other people shaped him into, but into the man that he chose, on his own accord. Adam, you are a beautiful person, and you have a beautiful soul. And as your buddy, you treated me way better than I ever could have deserved. You were right about so many things I was wrong about, and I never would have thought that our 22-year-long argument would have you won. I concede. Truly, it's such a blessing to see all these people here whose lives you've touched in your brief span here. And not gonna lie, I'm pretty pissed you got to find out the secrets of the universe before I could. But at least whenever I get to join you, you can fill me in yourself. Even though your soul will never die, I'm going to miss you always. I love you.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be.
I'm old school, not like the kids. I have to print it out in large font. Ryan, Samantha, and I have been overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and support we've received from our family and friends over these past few months. Your kindness has truly been a source of strength and has helped us get through these very difficult days. And we can't thank you all enough. There's a poem, Stop All the Clocks, by W.H. Auden. I'm sure many of you have heard it. And I really feel it captures the overwhelming grief and sorrow that the three of us feel in losing our beloved son and brother. I considered reading it here today because it really reflects our despair. But I'd rather not close this service by focusing on our sadness. Instead, I want to focus on Adam, what he loved, who he was, and how we can continue to honor his life moving forward. When I think about Adam and what mattered most to him, 5 things come to mind: his family, his friends, food, we've heard a lot about that today, politics, and music. Adam loved his family, and he cherished his friends. And we've heard from many of them today. I don't think I can add much more to what's already been said so beautifully. Thank you, cousins. Thank you, friends, for sharing your beautiful memories. He loved you all so much. Beyond family and friends, Adam had 3 deep passions, and I think that's been a theme here today: food, politics, and music. Adam wasn't a chef, but he really loved to eat. For him, food was a way to explore the world and embrace the joy of living. He was always up to try anything: scorpion on a stick when we were in Beijing, squid skewers while we were in Tokyo, every Asian hole in the wall in the San Gabriel Valley, and every taco truck he could drive to in SoCal. He considered his friend Cole Castillo a fellow foodie and appreciated his restaurant recommendations. And he loved his friends Stephanie and Zach's cooking. But he also held tight to the family food traditions. Just a few months ago, he had his first lesson on how to prepare Uncle Sam's famous kalbi. He loved his Popo's fried rice and pot stickers, and of course, juke. Dining was an adventure for Adam. It was one that he meant to be shared. If you weren't the adventurous type, he wasn't above tricking you into trying the chicken feet or some exotic dish. And I'm pretty sure Wyatt knows exactly what I'm talking about. But that was his way of wanting you to experience the same joy he did. He wanted us all to share in his adventure and in his taste for life. Politics. Adam, he wasn't a politician, not yet anyway, but he loved politics. He stood by his beliefs and he backed up his words with action. From marching with Black Lives Matter, to protesting ICE, to contentiously, very contentiously, I've been told, calling out injustice on social media, to wearing wildly, wildly inappropriate t-shirts. Some of you know exactly what I'm referring to. And that shirt now rests with Jackson, who can keep it, Jackson. I don't ever need to see it again. He was arrested this past June in LA while protesting ICE raids, and I'm sure it was one of his proudest moments. Like pushing his friends to try new exotic foods, he also pushed his family and his friends on their political beliefs. He was relentless in pointing out how misinformed, naive, wrong you were in your political views. And there were many family dinners at home and in restaurants where Samantha and I just threw up our hands and walked away as Ryan and Adam had heated political debates. But the truth is, he was an unwavering advocate for justice. He was committed in his support for equality, democracy, and to making our world a safer and more peaceful place. He wanted all of us to believe in these causes as much as he did, and that is why he was so passionate about trying to persuade us. Finally, Adam wasn't a musician. Not at all. Not by a long shot. 8 years of piano lessons and nightly practicing with his popo, and all we could ever get him to play was the theme from Star Wars. But he really did love music. I was thrilled to introduce him to and make him a big fan of my favorite 80s bands, like the Violent Femmes, the Beastie Boys, Love and Rockets. In return, he introduced me to Kendrick Lamar, JPEG Mafia, Earl Sweatshirt, Brockhampton, and more. I'll be honest, half the time I didn't understand the lyrics. They talk fast, and I'm a girl of the 80s. He'd insist on translating the lyrics for me, and he would play the same verse over and over again, and then explain every word, every single word, until I finally admitted the brilliance of the wordplay and the artist's genius, at which point he would then insist on downloading it to my phone. And whether I agreed with him or not, it went on my phone. However, his greatest musical passion was saved for his musician friends. He often talked to me about how amazing Matai and Chuck were, how talented Ian and Duncan were. He was their biggest fan and proudly shared their music with anyone he could. I have several of their songs on my playlist, and so does Ryan, and we love them. We really do. Family, friends, food, politics, and music. These were Adam's passions. As his cousins said in their life sketch, Adam's big heart and his presence in the moment will always be treasured. But we can do more than treasure Adam. We can honor him. And I think we can do that when we leave here today by carrying some of his passion with us. By that, I mean, do as he did. Love your family. Cherish your friends. Try a new restaurant and order the chicken feet. Sign a petition. Boycott a business that doesn't reflect your values. Vote. Share a song. Support a new artist. Create a unique playlist, maybe one that he would like. Most importantly, enjoy the music. Adam definitely did. Thank you.
On behalf of the Finney and Zane family, we'd like to thank you for honoring Adam with your presence here today. This has been a tough 4 months for the Zane family, and your constant displays of love and support has meant so much to us through visits, through text messages, through food. It's really meant a lot to us. It's been uplifting and sustaining, and I thank you all for that. Please join us in a reception to follow at the Wong Curley Center. For those of you who aren't familiar with the campus, as you exit the church, it'll be up the hill to the right, between the Chan Chun Hall and the Coleman Pavilion. Look for the big glass windows, and it's downstairs in the basement. Sorry, there'll be no chicken feet at the reception. In the meantime, if you'd like to pay your respects to Ryan, Sandy, and Samantha, and the rest of the family, we ask you to wait till you're dismissed for that purpose, and that'll come after Jonathan's closing prayer. Please form a line to your extreme left in that aisle there for that. Otherwise, feel free to head to the reception hall as you would like. We have heard many uplifting, heartwarming stories about Adam. We'd like to hear more. And so at the reception, there'll be an open mic. Please feel free to share how Adam touched your life as he did ours. And we'll see you soon.
Let us pray. Dear Father in heaven, as we leave here today, we ask that you join us, that you might continue to surround each one of us with your loving comfort, that we might carry with us the memories of Adam, his love for food, his desire for knowledge, his passion to help others, his kindness, his honesty. And most of all, we ask that you put in our hearts the hope of your coming, of your resurrection, that we might be able to see Adam again. We pray all this in the name of Jesus. Amen.